posts about practice in the Windhorse warehouse. You may have seen 2 or 3 other posts I think that we've put up. I think we've got 3 before. So I just wanted to update you because it's quite a few months on now. We've actually had 2 practice periods now in the warehouse. Both seem to have been very successful. So I wanted to tell you a bit about the 2 practice periods, why they went well. So you may remember that the first practice period we had, which ran from mid-February to mid-March, focused on the theme of making conscious how we already practice. A lot of people fed back, and well, the warehouse team basically fed back that they found the practice period really useful because it brought back the sense of collective practice. I think over the last few years at Windhorse there hasn't been so much emphasis on collective practice. I think people have essentially just gotten on with their own practice. But one thing that really seems to have gotten back into sort of vogue, you could say, is the collective practice. People wanting to have that sense of practicing together. So that was one of the big things that came out for a lot of people, including myself. And it's made a big difference to how I feel about being in the warehouse, how I feel about being at Windhorse. I would say that it's brought a much deeper sense of meaning and connection back into the daily working, the daily practice. So something else that was fed back, which was I found very interesting from the guys, was that the practice month had given them much more a sense of meaning. But essentially, I think most of us had a glimpse that meaning is not necessarily so much to do with what you do. It's about devotion. It comes from devotion. It comes from going for refuge. So the next practice period that we decided to have was to run up to the Wesak celebration. So we had a 3-week period in the warehouse, well actually a 2-week period in the warehouse where we focused on meetings with the Buddha. That was our theme, to get us in the mood for Wesak. And then the last week we invited the rest of the business to come around our wonderful stupa and practice with us. So we had our first 2-week period hearing stories from Shakyamuni's life and, well, chanting his mantra as well. They were the main 2 things. Well, there was also the Buddha Vandana. We chanted the Buddha Vandana. We did the recollection of the Buddha practice. So these were the main practices that we had at this time. And essentially we were trying to get in the mood so that Shakyamuni was very, very much in our minds, and hopefully everybody made some sort of emotional connection with Shakyamuni, with obviously his central importance to the Buddhist tradition. And then finally we had a team of 3, Nagavura, Vidyavajra and Artasiddhi, who organised the actual Wesak festival itself, and I think they did an excellent job in trying to make it celebratory. Vidyavajra led and pretty much composed the ritual. It was pretty unique ritual. Lasted a good few hours. We had music, we had chanting, had choir involvement, lots of readings, that sort of thing. Some unusual stuff going on as well that Vidyavajra dreamed up. But I'd say it's probably one of the most celebratory Wesaks I've personally been involved in. So we've had 2 practice periods so far this year, and hopefully we'll have another few. That's yet to be discussed. We have a well-established now workers practice team, including people like Arta Priya, who are discussing what we can do next. We'll probably do something for Dharma Day. Plus we've thrown out the question to the warehouse team, what do you want to do, how do you want to practice as we go on through the year. So we'll continue, hopefully this will continue to be of interest to you and newsworthy. We'll continue to update you about how our practice periods are going in the future.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.